Hi everyone, this is David Meine. I am with Ideal Shape and have been researching the brain since 1999 and its effect on health and weight loss. I want to thank you, each one of you, for joining tonight. Feel free at any time to send me, text me any questions or raise your hand. And when I see a hand go up, then I can answer the question. So I'm the author of Think, Use Your Mind to Shrink Your Waistline, 10 negative behaviors that you can change to create your ideal shape. And the book discusses, and I spent a lot of time researching the science, researching what nutrition does to the brain, what thoughts do to the brain from as far as from psychology, and all those different areas. And then I looked at research on what's happening with sugar in the brain and water. And so because of the science and what I've learned since 1999, I've been able to come up with a way that people can lose weight. And more importantly, is by changing certain behaviors, certain habits. Once you attain what we call your ideal shape, then you'll be able to sustain that. And what's interesting, and I don't know how many of you would agree with me, but really based on the weight, extra weight that you carry on your body, really affects your life. I work with lots of people that are 100, 200 pounds overweight. They can't, their physical activity is limited. They're not able to walk. I have a gentleman I started with a year ago, couldn't even walk around the block, was almost 400 pounds, and he's within, I think today he was at 303 and getting really close. And so it really, your body and what you want really starts with how you think about life and what you want out of life. And this all really began in a conversation with my foster father about 10 years ago. My wife and I were sitting with Tom on his back porch up in the mountains of Colorado, and we were having a conversation that drifted to how frustrated he was about dieting that kept repeating itself so often. I mean, he's talked about this since 1974. He weighs about 400 pounds, and he's tried almost every diet out there with no lasting success. This time, though, he made an interesting comment. He said, I bet over my lifetime I have gained and lost 1,000 pounds. At that moment, my wife and I, seeing his pain, looked at each other and knew it's time. We had to do something to help him. Within a couple of months working with experts, we came up with a unique weight loss plan that include using something that every living human being possesses, and that's a brain. But more importantly, how to harness the power of the brain. And using this process, my dad was able to lose 150 pounds in a year, improved his enjoyment of life, and more importantly, kept the weight off. And that's how Think, Use Your Mind to Shrink Your Waistline was created. Let me ask you some of these questions. Does this sound familiar to any of you? You know, I keep struggling with my weight. And no matter what I try, it doesn't work. I'm frustrated and I don't know what to do. Well, when you're reading chapter 1 of Think, Use Your Mind to Shrink Your Waistline, you'll learn how to redefine your definition of the word change. And then what will happen is you'll move through the many myths that stood in the way of you reaching your goal. And what I want to do, let's look at Betty. Betty was a beautiful young woman. She had 5 weeks to lose 30 pounds and had no idea of how to do it. Nothing she ever tried worked. And my first question to her was, why the rush? Why so fast? She said to me, I'm going on vacation. I'll be wearing a bikini in front of family and strangers, and I can't go looking like this. My next question, what are you changing in your lifestyle to lose that much weight? And she laughed, she just kind of rattled off like a machine gun, 8 things she's going to do to lose the 30 pounds. And she said the reason that she called was to try weight loss hypnosis as part of the process. And then I asked how many diets she had been on in her lifetime. And she said probably a dozen. And then I asked how long she'd been 30 pounds overweight. And she replied 4 to 5 years. And finally, I asked her to close her eyes and tell me if she could visualize herself wearing a bikini, looking the way she wanted to look. She started crying. She teared up, and I could hear the emotions. And after a long pause, I heard her say, no. Then, I said to her in the kindest way that your body cannot change unless you truly change your mindset at the subconscious level. And her response was, well, how do I do that? And I said, weight loss begins and ends in your mind. She said that she had never thought about it that way before. And then we began. Step 1, learning how to visualize actually achieving her goal. Well, guess where Betty's mindset took her 5 weeks later? And the thing is it's not healthy to lose 30 pounds, but we got her a lot closer. And so she knew what her goal looked like. And so for her, for most people, if they don't know what to do, then they're going to be sitting at home wishing they were in a swimsuit or a bikini at the beach. And so this mindset and this change is really critical. What I think is more important is that you'll begin to become aware of the real issues that hold you back. And for a lot of people, it's about, it's changing from being your worst enemy to becoming your best friend. Let's look at Courtney. This is someone I worked with who's 38 years old. She lives in San Antonio, Texas. And right off the bat, she told me her ideal shape goal was to go from a size 14 dress to a size 6. And over the past 4 years, she had not been able to lose weight on any diet that she tried. And while reading the chapter about poor sleep in the Think book, it explained why she had a large amount of fat on her stomach. She was only sleeping 2 hours a night, and that was with Ambien. That realization also led her to understand why she had a massive appetite every day. And there's no way you're going to lose weight unless sleeping problems are fixed. And for her, the first step was understanding how she trained her brain to only sleep 2 hours per night with medication. The Think book gave her the tools to retrain her brain to sleep for 7 to 8 hours per night. After 5 months, she was sleeping 7 to 8 hours consistently every night. She's gone from a size 14 to a size 6. The belly fat's gone. Her self-esteem has gone up, and she looks amazing. And so most importantly, you'll learn a very simple shift in your current thinking will change your world. And so you go from not sleeping to looking like this. You wake up first thing in the morning, you should be energized, have more energy. And the challenge is if you don't sleep, you don't release a couple of hormones, one being leptin, the other one being ghrelin. They affect your appetite. And so what happens is for most people that are overweight, they don't sleep well, they got the stress, and guess what? Because of not sleeping, your body uses energy, and when you get up the next day, you have this ferocious appetite that you just can never get sated. What I'd like you all to experience is I have a lot of training in the brain. I have training in meditation. I have training in nutrition and thoughts and all those things. And I also got some training in contemporary hypnosis, and I just took 4 principles from there. And so, taking everything I've learned, what I do on the CD series is that I take and use music that has been researched and proven to calm the mind and the body. I use my voice that's been trained. I've got 35 years of experience being a motivational speaker. And so what I do is I get you relaxed. I get you to be hyper focused, listening to what I'm saying. And as you become hyper focused, you become suggestible, open to positive change. And then I use very powerful stories, very powerful visualizations to help change behavior. And so what you'll do is you pick a behavior and you work on that behavior for 28 days and give the subconscious mind time to take in that new behavior and get it to be where it's automatic. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to let you experience this particular track. You can go to thinkbook.com. You can get these for free. You can download this, but this will teach you a skill, how to relax. And so I'm going to get started with that. And so what I'd like you to do, if you have anything on your lap, if you're holding on to anything, put it down aside, because you need to be sitting in a chair, sitting up straight, feet flat on the floor. We'll do this exercise, and then I'll say a few more things, and I'll open it up to questions. Hi, I'm David Meine, and welcome to the introduction of brain training for deep sleep for effective weight loss. I want to congratulate you on making the... Hi, this is David Meine from Ideal Shape. I will be your personal brain trainer. This is a visualization exercise to help you be totally relaxed and refreshed in 5 minutes. Anytime you feel stressed about changing your body shape or just dealing with any of the life stresses, remember to do this exercise. You can use this exercise to help go to sleep faster when you want to take a short nap or when you want to go to bed at night. Say out loud what time you want to wake up in the morning. When taking a nap for 15 or 30 minutes, again, say the desired time and you will wake up refreshed and relaxed at exactly the time you tell your subconscious mind. As this exercise requires relaxation, it should not be used when driving a car or doing anything else that requires you to be alert. Sitting in a chair or lying down is best for this brain exercise. Once you are settled, uncross your legs, rest your hands gently at your side or on your legs. Slowly close your eyes and let the muscles around your eyes and forehead relax. You will begin with your breathing. Now take a deep breath through your nose, comfortably filling up your lungs and stomach. On the mental count of 3, open your mouth and release the breath. As the air leaves, let your whole body relax and go limp. Take another deep breath through your nose, easily filling up your lungs and stomach. On the mental count of 3, open your mouth and release the breath, allowing your whole body to relax even further. One more time. Take a deep breath through your nose, filling up your lungs and stomach. On the mental count of 3, open your mouth and let the breath out. When you hear the words deep sleep in your subconscious mind, it is a signal to your body that you want to go into a deeply relaxed and peaceful state. You are drifting down into a deeply relaxed state. Now we're going to count backwards from 100, and you will find that your mind has become perfectly relaxed. So much so that after counting back a few digits, you will find those numbers disappearing. 100, deeply relaxed, relaxing more and more with each number. 99, deeply relaxed, drifting down and down. 98, deeply relaxed. Start relaxing the numbers out of your mind. 97, deeply relaxed, deep sleep. 96, deeply relaxed, drifting down further and further, lighter and lighter. 95, deeply relaxed. Your mind has become so very, very relaxed. 94, deeply relaxed, deep sleep. The numbers are fading completely out of your mind. In a moment, I'll begin to count from 1 to 5. With each number that I count, you'll begin to feel more and more alert, awake and aware. At the count of 5, you open your eyes and you are then fully refreshed and energized. Getting ready now. Number 1, slowly, calmly, easily, and gently begin returning to your full conscious awareness. Number 2, with each number I count, you feel more and more rested, refreshed, and invigorated. Number 3, when I say the last number, you will be fully alert. Number 4, on the next number I count, you open your eyes and you are then completely alert, aware, and full of energy. Number 5, wide awake, take a deep breath and stretch. I hope every one of you enjoyed that experience. The more you do it, the faster that you relax. It's funny, I have people that call me all the time and they hear my voice and they go, oh my gosh, I'm narcoleptic. As soon as I hear your voice, I start relaxing and going to sleep. So it's a positive thing. But anyway, a lot of good things happen with this. What I'd like to do before I open up for questions, what makes us different at Ideal Shape, and what I've realized over the years is we've got to stop using the word dieting. We've got to stop using the word weight loss as much as we can and really focus on what is the size pant, what is the size shirt, and what is the size dress for women that would fit on your particular ideal shape. For me, it's always been being a size 34 waist, wearing a large shirt, and being able to see my belt and be able to see my shoes. Um, and I'm there. In fact, I weigh, which I'm very fortunate at 56 years old, I weigh the same now as I did when I was 21. But there was a period of time, a long period of time, that I was a double XL large shirt, a very big stomach. I tried to hold at 34 waist, and I couldn't see my belt and I couldn't see my shoes. And so, but it's those 10 behaviors. So what's in that book is what I personally had to learn to change to get healthy. And now thousands of people have used the techniques and what we've learned. I just want to reiterate that 80% of your brain power is in your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind, it goes to your central nervous system. All of you right now, you're sitting, you're switching your weight from one hip to the other for blood flow. You're not, you're breathing, you got your blood pressure, you got all these things that are going in the body. Your eyes are blinking and you're listening to me, and you're not even consciously aware because your body just automatically does all of that. It's the same issue as that you've trained your brain. If you're overweight, you've trained your body to be overweight. Your subconscious mind keeps you in homeostasis. So whatever you've trained, its job is to keep it going and to keep that there. And that's why it's, for most people, it's very difficult to change bad habits and bad behaviors. These 10 behaviors are eating and drinking too much sugar, not drinking enough water, not getting a good night's sleep. One of the things that's interesting on the water is that when a baby's born, it's 80% water. When we become adults, what's fascinating is an adult's brain should be about 70% water, lungs are 90% water, and the body just overall, if you're healthy, is about 65% water. If you're 20 pounds and greater, and in the obese range, your body is only 45% water. And what's fascinating is that most of the drinks out there that are beverages with lots of sugar or lots of salt and sodium and all that kind of stuff do not hydrate the body. And so the challenge is, and one of the things I learned when I started this in 1999, trying to figure out why my brain did it, what it did, and why I was having health issues, and just all the things that started this research. Water, if your body's dehydrated and your brain's dehydrated, you will not think correctly. You will not be able to perform correctly. Anyway, number 4, allowing mental sabotage from yourself as others is huge. Not being able to see your future ideal shape. Struggling with too much stress. You've got cortisol. If you're releasing cortisol, which is your flight or fight hormone, what it does over a period of time, it builds fat on the stomach. And so whenever I meet with clients in my private practice and I look at their stomach, first thing to see where they're carrying their weight. If there's a lot of weight, then I know they're not sleeping well. They can't handle stress. Eating too fast in our society is a mess on the body. Eating till full instead of when satisfied is a huge behavior to change. Eating 5 times a day to keep the glucose level throughout the day, and not being motivated to exercise on a consistent basis. And it's just 3 days a week, and it can be as simple as just going for a walk. If it's in the winter time, can't walk in your neighborhood, then drive to your closest mall or shopping center that has indoor and go walk. But anyway, let me open up the questions. There's so much in the book. There's so much I've learned. We have where you can get help. We have Facebook.com. We have about 34,000 fans. We have our people here at Ideal Shape that just watch that. It's a forum. We answer people's questions. It's a great place to get support and help. We have a Think Then Book, Facebook.com page, lots of information there. All of you are free. You can contact me at david@idealshape.com. You can get a hold of us. We have an 800 number for customer service, and then there is a coupon code if you're looking for the book or anything. So the book can be found at the following places: thinkthenbook.com. The book just came out last week. If you prefer to listen to an audiobook, you can go to Audible or iTunes for the audiobook. You can also find the book on iTunes. Amazon, you can get the book on Kindle. It's also available for audio there. And then at Amazon.com, you can get the paperback book. And then Barnes & Noble, you can get downloaded if you have a Nook. And the CD series are at all these places, which are pretty much the same places as the book. And if you go to thinkthenbook.com, the stress reductions that you just listened to, you can download for free. I also have a visualizing, an older version of Visualizing Your Ideal Shape that's very good, that you can download for free. And there's forms that you can download as you read the book and as you want to use some of the things in there. There's tools for you. And I've really built the book full of, a toolbox. And so anyway, I'd like to open it up for any questions. I apologize for getting a little behind. I was having a little problems with my iTunes. So anyway, there's a couple ways you can ask questions. It's now 7:30, but I will stay on for a little bit. If you want to ask questions, you can text me and ask your question. You can also click on the little hand. There's a large group tonight, and this is one of the biggest groups I've had in a long time. Anyway, thank you. Earlier, Jennifer and Shannon texted me, told me they could hear. And feel free to ask any question about my background, about the book. I'm happy to answer anything. Anyway, the reason I started all this research while I wait for a question here is in 1999. I had really bad health, had bronchitis 3 times, pneumonia twice, was really struggling with my health. I wasn't sleeping. I was traveling for my job. I was overweight, and I went to my doctor finally in October, said, "Hey, what is the problem? What's causing all of this?" And he just said, "Well, here." And he wrote me out a prescription. It was for antidepressant called Prozac. And I looked at this doctor I'd been going to for 20 years, and I said, "Are you kidding me? You're giving me a Prozac to try and get better and not be sick and all this kind of stuff?" So I was furious, left, never went back to him again, started doing research, wanted to figure out what was going on with my brain. And so I got, a little while later, I got diagnosed with ADHD, which, in our society is a label. But once I got done through all the research, looked at the brain, studied a concept called toxic brain, came to find out I have an amazing brain. It's very similar to Leonardo da Vinci, and lots of people that are very creative are, that's just the way they're built. And it's the way that they're built is very positive. They can do certain things other people can't do. And so I've done a lot of research on the brain and how you can change your body and how you can change your life. Let's take Marcella, I hope I said your name right. She asked a question. Will I ever be able to relax if I couldn't relax tonight while listening to you? Okay, that's a very good question. This is not a very good situation. I just get people to experience my voice, Miss Marcella, and also the music. You'll get a lot better quality at home. And so essentially, what I do is I get you to commit to working on a behavior for 28 days. So you listen to a particular track over and over for 28 days. And what happens is you teach your brain how to relax. So when you do those breathing routines, and as I walk you through, and there are longer ones, and there's just a lot more that's available that you will begin to train your brain. Like the lady, it took 5 months. She listened to my CD every night for 5 months and went from not being able to relax and only sleeping for 2 hours with Ambien to she sleeps 7 to 8 hours every single night. I see her all the time. I've done a couple of trips with her and her husband. We got to know them, and she looks amazing. But I had to keep encouraging her, just keep listening. She says, "Well, I only got 3 hours to sleep tonight," and I'd say, "Well, that's an hour more than you had before." And it just kept progressing until finally she retrained her brain to sleep. And it's the same thing you can do to relax. Very good question, Marcella. Let's go to the next question. This is from Jennifer. I have the problem that I'm a night owl and have a job that I have to be up at 5:30 a.m. So I don't want to go to bed and I don't want to wake up. Laugh out loud. You're right. The challenge is, Jennifer, and I don't want you to share, but if you're overweight, the challenge is if you don't get 7 to 8 hours of sleep, then the body's not able to release the hormones that are important, that help, that affect the appetite. And so when I work with people, and they because you've trained your brain to be a night owl. Okay, I have people that they get married and one spouse goes to bed at 9, the other spouse goes at 12. They have all these conflicts, and so based on whatever, I say, okay, what would be the compromise? What would you be able to do? In some situations, they pick 10 o'clock. They both go to bed to my CD, and they get trained after 28 days or 2 months. They're trained that they both go to bed at the same time. They both meet their needs, get up the next morning fully rested. And so it's just a training issue. And so you could, if you wanted to, and if you were, Jennifer, quite a bit overweight and it's because of stress and you got fat on your stomach, then you'd want to consider using the sleep CD and retraining your brain to whatever the best behavior it is for you to get the rest that you need so that your body will release the right hormones so you'll be able to lose weight. Very good question. Shannon question, do I have to dive right into a workout routine? I only get about 4 hours sleep and feel so sluggish all day. I had to have an emergency total hysterectomy when I was 25 and have not felt the same ever since. I'm 35 now. I simply am just so tired when I get off work. I think both examples I've talked about, you're right on, Shannon, is it may take you a couple of months, may take you 3 months, but you've got to retrain your body. And, the hysterectomy does throw you off. It does throw hormones off. But I work with a lot of women that are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s that are experiencing the same things that you are. And, the funny thing is people, will ask me, well, what do you and your wife do? Sugar for me is the biggest issue. I'm an addict to sugar. I don't know if you all know what the difference between sugar and cocaine is. The only difference is cocaine is harder to get. They both do the same thing to the brain. And so I constantly am working on the sugar. I broke sugar into 3 categories, but you can see that in the book. But in your case, Shannon, excuse me. Yes, it was Shannon. In your case, is you've got to retrain your brain to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, and it takes time. And if you'll listen to my CD, whichever behavior you pick, you can just get the sleep one, or you do one of the other behaviors you listen to every single night when you go to sleep. And what it'll do is it'll start retraining your brain. And if you can get to 5 hours, to 6 hours, to 7 hours, you're going to see your energy levels go up. Your body's going to do a better job manufacturing the hormones, leptin and ghrelin. Now, of course, you have to work with a doctor. I don't know what hormones are out of balance, if it's estrogen or testosterone or whatever's out of balance in your body. But listening to my CD with the music and my voice and my training will make a huge difference for you to get your sleep back and get your energy back. Let me go down to Kathy. I am a disciplined eater because I have type 1 diabetes. I do not eat much sugar. My weight gain came from insulin. What CD should I start with to lose weight? I would recommend the sugar CD. Now, what I did with the CD series, on track 1 on each CD is an introduction and that talks about what you're going to be learning. Track 2 is a motivational. So track 1 and 2, you can listen in your car, you can listen, anywhere. It won't relax you, and it'll give you really good information, motivate you. But tracks 3 and 4 are where the real work's done, and those are visualization exercises. One's for daytime. Ideally, if you could wake up first thing in the morning, listen to the CD, excuse me, you would get a lot of benefit. But a lot of people are so busy and they run out of time during the day. So they can't do it in the morning. They try to do it at lunch or do it whenever. They run out of time. And so I created one that's for when you go to bed. It does the exact same thing, except that what I do is at the end of the visualization, I actually deepen you to sleep for the rest of the night. So the key is on any of the CDs, you're going to go to sleep faster, longer, deeper. You're going to wake up with a lot more energy, and you just keep at it every night for 28 days. And so I would recommend Katie, sorry, yeah, Katie, I would recommend that you start with the sugar CD because you're going to learn there's lots of areas, even though you're disciplined, you may find areas of sugar that you weren't aware of. And I don't know for sure, but I would still start with the sugar CD. It's a powerful visualization. And you'll see in the book, if you read the sugar chapter, I've broken out 3 categories. And you're right about the insulin. And, as with everything, everyone, you always want to work with your doctor. I'm not a doctor. I'm just trained in the brain and how to change behaviors and thoughts. It looks like, oh, Angela, I just tried to look up your book on Nook and couldn't find it. Let me just go here really quick because I was just on there looking at it. So if you go to Barnes and, let's see, how do I get this to work? So let's go look here at barnesnoble.com. And if you go over and put in think, use your mind right there. And it's right there, and it's the Nook. So they've got it at $8.39. So I hope you saw where I went, Angela, and you can find the book there, but it's there, and then you can download it on your Nook. See if there's any more questions. Okay, everybody, you've been awesome. Let me just check. I didn't see if anybody raised their hand and wanted to talk. Okay, one last shot. If there wasn't a question I didn't answer, feel free after this. You can send me an email. I appreciate your time. I know how busy all of you are. I love what I do. I love helping people. And I wish all of you a wonderful evening. And take care. And then I'll try to get this up in the next week if anybody wants to go back and watch this recording for information.